is complete to Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson makes someone miss. Garrett Wilson's loose to the 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown. Breece Hall cuts up the middle. Breece Hall's loose. Breece Hall's gone. Breece Hall is gone. He walks into the end zone. Josh Allen fires it over the middle. Intercepted. Sauce Gardner picks off Allen. Sauce Gardner, let's go. The rookie picks off Josh Allen. Win it. That's long. Oh my God. Drops back to pass. He fires it over the middle. Touchdown. Garrett Wilson. The New York Jets tie the football game. The rookie. The Jets win. The Jets win. Ashton Davis. Ices the game. Let's go. Handoff Quinton Williams with the tackle for loss. That's a loss of 5 yards. Josh Allen is going to fire up a bomb. Josh Allen. Sauce Gardner's there for the game winner. The New York Jets beat the Buffalo Bills and improve to 6-3 on the year. Sauce Gardner. Yeah. That's how we get on the ball, boy. Yeah. Yo, what is up, Jets Nation? What is good? Merry Christmas, happy holidays. The Jets are coming off getting freaking embarrassed last night. Absolutely embarrassed on primetime football. And we will be breaking it all down in today's stream. Usually we do these streams on Mondays, obviously the day after, but we're going to take some call-ins so you guys can come on here and allow your frustrations out. We'll have a nice open Jets therapy session. But the reality is, this Jets team has a gigantic issue at the quarterback spot, and that's the reality. You guys know where I've stood on this quarterback situation all season long. I am a Jets fan that personally likes to support whoever the quarterback is, and even if they're playing like crap, I talk about it. I bring up their weaknesses, and I tell you straight up based off film with what they're, bad at. But I also, like to support and try to give them some optimism and try to give them a reason to believe that they can be the guy. And Zach Wilson, I said going into it, this is kind of his last opportunity that he's got, man. This is Zach Wilson's last chance to be proven anything. If he wants to be any sort of future with this franchise, he has to show out. And not only did he play like a bad quarterback last night, he looked like someone that doesn't even belong in the freaking league last night. He looked like a little kid that has no confidence in himself, and the game looks too big for him. And that's the reality of it. You watched the press conference of Zach Wilson after the game last night, and he is completely distraught. He said himself, I mean, you understand the issue with Zach Wilson after you watch that interview. It's simple. He can't find a rhythm. He can't find his inner confidence. It's like an inner search of like trying to find that flow. Because when you're a quarterback in this league, you got to have that conceptual flow that just naturally comes to you, and you just are in this rhythm, and you're just feeling the flow of the game run through your body, where everything comes naturally, everything comes instinctual. And that's not the case with Zach at all. He has no confidence in himself. He finds no rhythm. So now the Jets have an absolute big, issue on their hands heading into the offseason of who's the quarterback going to be. But in this stream, I want to focus on last night's game, because what an absolute embarrassment. You're going to see me going on a couple rants today, because what a freaking joke that was. Absolute joke. I mean, that man looked so we start off the game, right? Let's just go from the game. We start off the game red hot. Big splashy play. We finally get a turnover on defense for the first time in a long, long time. Quinton Williams returns to the lineup, and he makes his impact. He's a Pro Bowler for a reason. He gets a strip sack fumble, and the Jets actually recover the ball. And oh my gosh, we have the ball in the red zone immediately. And of course, the Jets can't even get a first down, so we get 3. That's it. That is it. That's all the points the Jets scored. 3 freaking points. 3. And the Jets defense, they looked bad last night. They let the Jaguars do whatever they wanted on us. Trevor Lawrence was picking apart this defense. But I also have to say this. As bad as the Jets defense looked last night, they gave up 19 freaking points. And I'm not giving any benefit of the doubt. And I'm not saying anything positive about the defense. My point is, if we had any style of offense, any quarterback play, we could have won the game last night. Because as bad as the Jets defense was, we still only gave up less than 20 freaking points. And I said going into the game, the 24 marker is the key to win. You score 24 points offensively, I like the Jets' chance of winning. Because I think this Jets defense, heading into the game, they're going to not shut down the Jaguars, but they're going to give up points, but they're not going to, get blown out. And the reality is, we lost this game on the offense. Completely on the offense. And it's as bad as Zach Wilson was, and he was bad, there's a lot more issues in the quarterback position on the offense, folks. Offensive line. I mean, what are we doing? The run game. The running back perspective. Terrible. Absolutely disgusting performance from the offensive line in the run game. We pride ourselves as a team that is going to outrun you, play better in the trenches, run down your throat, punch you in the mouth. And we can't even freaking run the ball. We had Michael Carter get 3 yards, and he was the leading rusher. Michael Carter was the freaking leading rusher for the Jets until Chris Streveler came in. And then Chris Streveler comes out there, and he just makes this offense look like, oh, this is how you run an offense. No running game, no offensive line, and a quarterback that can't do shit. Zach Wilson literally looks like he doesn't belong in the NFL. He's completely lost his confidence, and I think the only way Zach Wilson becomes an NFL quarterback in this league is not on the Jets. He needs a complete reset. He needs a change of scenery. He needs to find himself. And yeah, I don't think anybody cares about Zach Wilson, the individual, in terms of his career, more or less what the Jets are doing at quarterback. Because I'm sorry, man. This Jets team absolutely got embarrassed last night. The NFL put us on primetime football, and we go out there and put up that type of performance. What an absolute disgrace, bro. We start 7-4, and you want to go back into why we were 7-4. Why? Why were we winning at that time, guys? Why were we doing that? It's because we had a running game. Our quarterback was never the reason why we were winning. The quarterback was never why we were winning. He was a little part of it because at that time, Zach was playing turnover-free football, and he made the little plays in order to help us win. But we weren't winning because of the quarterback. We were winning because we had a running game. We had Breece Hall running it down their throats. I mean, against the Buffalo Bills, the best win of the season, we had a defense that was shutting down them. And then even without Breece Hall in that game, we ran the ball very well and we won the game. So this Jets team has a quarterback issue, but there's a little bit more of an issue. Because you put any quarterback back there last night, what does Mike White do with absolutely no run game and no offensive line? And this is not me making excuses for Zach Wilson at all. Please don't make it seem that way. Because Mike White would have moved the ball. Mike White would have put this team in a better situation to win last night, and that's an absolute fact. Because Mike White can hit a throw. Mike White can scan the defense. Mike White can go through his progressions. Everything Zach Wilson can just not do. He can't do it. And I think Zach Wilson is a perfect example of a quarterback that is going to remind NFL organizations that you cannot draft players based on physical gifts, based on arm talent, based on athleticism. You got to be able to interview these quarterbacks, understand their football IQ, because Zach Wilson does not have a football IQ, bro. He just doesn't. He doesn't have his confidence. When you go out there in the field and you're trying to find yourself and you're trying to find a rhythm and it's not there, it's just going to snowball into something worse. Okay? It's just really bad. On all accounts. There's a lot of people to point fingers at. Mike LaFleur deserves the blame. Offensive line deserves blame. Running backs deserves blame. Quarterback deserves blame. The head coach deserves blame. The defense did not look good last night. They deserve blame, of course. It's just that's the reality of the situation, folks. That's it. And now we actually have people still defending Zach Wilson. And listen, you are totally okay to do that. I'm not someone that's going to sit here and tell you how to be a fan. Everyone's entitled to their own way to support this franchise. I'm someone that supported Zach Wilson through his awful performances. I speak what his weaknesses are. I say that he struggles with this, but I also go into with an open mind of like, okay, Zach, you're struggling. I'll give you an opportunity to prove yourself. And he still hasn't proved himself. And he's proved to be terrible. And that's it. He had a chance. He actually had a chance, guys. Because if he went off last night against Trevor Lawrence and won the game, then we would have a completely different conversation right now. On primetime football with the whole world watching. Enough with the spam in the chat, please, saying Zach Hater. No spam allowed. Or else you'll be in timeout. I need my moderators in the chat. No spam allowed. It's just bad, bro. It's just bad. This coaching staff, after starting off the season phenomenal, have completely regressed. It's completely regressed, man. So, guys, if you could do me a favor, please hit that thumbs up button, man. We got 20 likes with 120 people watching. We're just getting started here on the stream. We're going to get to the calls at the end of the stream. And I appreciate you guys sticking with Jets Media. You know that I'm not going anywhere. We're going to be breaking down this team, good or bad. I mean, I'm used to losing, man. I'm used to the toxic. I'm used to all this stuff. That's all I've known covering this freaking team. So it's not like I'm new to this. You feel me? But real quick, guys, we're going to get to the sponsor of this stream, which is indeed the proud sportsbook sponsor of Jets Media. That indeed is BetUS. BetUS gives you an opportunity to play with $50 of free money. And if you want to look at all the lines here on the BetUS Sportsbook, you know, last night they had the Jets at 2.5 favorites. That did not work in our favor. So if you look at all these lines here on BetUS, you can click the link down below in the description, and you will get $50 for free with no deposit needed, or you can get 125% bonus up to $2,500 deposit. So this is definitely my favorite sports book. They got a lot of awesome things. You can click on the markets, and you got a lot of different things that you can bet on. You have the player prop bets. You have the game prop bets. You got the halves. You can bet on the money lines, the over-unders. So again, guys, if you want to sign up for BetUS, you can click the link down below in the description. And shout out to BetUS for sponsoring today's live stream. Really do appreciate BetUS today. So we got a lot of things to talk about, my man. A lot of things to talk about. A lot of things to talk about. Again, anybody that spams anything in the chat, you know what's going to happen. So continue that. And anybody that watches my streams and watches my channel knows that I'm far from a Zach hater. I'm someone that supported him, gave him the benefit of the doubt, talked about what he struggles with, had an open mind to give him an opportunity to prove himself, and he's proving not himself. Bro, Zach Wilson got benched for a fourth-string quarterback. A fourth-string quarterback! What? Unreal. Unreal. And you also have to realize that as bad as Zach Wilson was last night, he wasn't the only one to blame. He really wasn't. But at the same time, Zach Wilson can't do anything. Zach Wilson can't do anything to help out that team last night. Missing throws over the middle of the field, not scanning anything properly, taking sacks, not getting rid of the ball fast. Mr. Green, sad to say we wasted 2 years in a second overall pick, actually, on Zach. We need Mike back in. Zach needs to be traded. Yeah, bro. Zach's time with the Jets is over, in my opinion. He's either getting traded or he is going to be, a backup for this Jets team next year. Appreciate the $5, my man. Said it all week, the Jags would win. Sorry, Richie. It's all good, man. You were right. But there's a lot of things to just really be upset about from last night. The overall team's performance. It's just the reality of this situation, guys, is we're going to have a long freaking offseason. We're going to have a long offseason. And my question to you guys, and I tweeted this out, what the actual hell do the Jets do against the Seahawks if Mike White is not cleared to play? You start Zach Wilson again? You start Flacco? You start Streveler? What do they do? What do they do? And then now we have to have this discussion all offseason. What do they do at the quarterback spot? Jimmy G, Derek Carr, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Jordan Love. I mean, I've heard all of it. And it's so upsetting that we even have to talk about that. All I ever wanted, guys, is a franchise quarterback. It's all Jets fans want, which is why you cannot fault Jets fans for rooting for Zach Wilson, because I don't think people realize that the best possible thing for this Jets franchise is for Zach Wilson to be the franchise quarterback. And you think it makes me feel good saying these things about Zach Wilson? You think it fuels me? It makes me feel like, yeah, Zach Wilson's not the guy. No! I want Zach Wilson to be the guy more than anybody else. But you got to speak how it's official now, right? He got benched. It was an awful game against the Patriots. He's benched for 3 weeks. Luckily for Zach Wilson, perspective, Mike White goes down. He gets another chance. Okay, against the Detroit Lions, he made a lot of flashy plays, and then he made a bunch of bad plays. Lose the game. All right, Zach, this is your chance. Primetime football up against a red-hot Trevor Lawrence, who is definitely the better quarterback than your ass. And now you have a chance to prove to be the second overall pick. He looked like he was an undrafted free agent quarterback last night. I mean, we got Brock freaking Purdy, who was the last pick in the entire draft class, playing better than Zach Wilson on the 49ers as a rookie. We got quarterbacks like all over the place, late round picks looking completely better because Zach Wilson was drafted for his physical gift, for his arm talent, for his athleticism, for his, different abilities. But if you're a quarterback in this league, you cannot even read a freaking defense and you don't have the proper footwork and you can't go through your progressions, it doesn't matter of how physically talented you are. That's not what makes you an NFL quarterback, which is why Mike White is the better guy for this. Okay? Mike White can scan a defense. Zach can't do that. He can't. Like, it's not even like Zach Wilson was bad last night, guys. He was atrocious. Couldn't even get a first down. He couldn't even get a first down. I mean, unbelievable. Like, you got an offensive line that's not doing anything in the run game, and then you got a quarterback that can't do shit in the pass game, and you got an offensive coordinator that doesn't know how to put anybody in the right situations to succeed. It's fucking pathetic, okay? It really is. It's so upsetting. Jets fans don't deserve this crap. And listen, guys, there's going to be a small section of fan base that still is going to believe in Zach Wilson and allow that to happen. Okay, there's no reason to hate on. My least favorite part about covering this team is I've noticed that we are a very passionate fan base that likes to turn on each other. There's no fucking reason for that. Stop turning on each other. We're all in this together. We all want the same freaking thing, which is a Super Bowl win. That's all we want. We want consistent playoff appearances. We want consistent competence. So enough with the, turning on each other and butting heads. We're all in this together, bro. But the reality is, Zach Wilson's done. He is absolutely done, bro. He looks broken mentally. Like, that's the thing. You want to talk about potential with Zach? He'll never, ever, ever reach his potential with his mindset he's got right now. He's broken mentally. Absolutely broken mentally. You cannot get confidence. You cannot get rhythm. Because people want to talk about Zach Wilson's flick of the wrist, his wrist motion, his arm, all the things that's great. It's cool. But people don't freaking realize none of that shit matters if you can't figure it out mentally. If you don't believe in yourself, if you don't have an inner confidence, if you can't simply read a defense. None of the wrist motion, none of that unique stuff that he has, none of it matters. If he can't believe in himself, if he can't be a leader for this team, if he can't hold himself accountable, all the things that equals a franchise quarterback. And the Jets have another organizational failure on their hands with the second overall pick bust, who, by the way, do you think it makes me feel good to say this? No. But Zach Wilson is going to be looked at as one of the worst NFL busts in the history of the NFL. His freaking numbers are the same, if not worse, than Jamarcus Russell. What? That's not me hating. That's a fact. We're talking about one of the worst NFL quarterbacks ever. And Zach's up there. Second overall pick. This team deserves better. This team is a lot better around the quarterback than you think. Oh, this isn't good for my blood pressure right now. We deserve better, Noah. Yes, we do. You got that freaking right. Chris, thank you so much for the $10, my friend. Very generous of you as always. At this point, I'm out on the playoffs. Let's just finish the season with a winning record and look forward to building on a playoff-worthy foundation. Love you, Rich. You're a real one, bro. Merry Christmas. Chris, thank you so much for the $10. All your donations mean a lot, bro. Thank you. Thank you. But the reality is, I'm out of the playoff. I mean, listen, the Jets are still not mathematically eliminated, but we're on a 4-game freaking win streak. We have no right to even think that we can make the playoffs. We have to take care of our own business first before we can talk about playoffs, okay? You're right on, Chris. You're right freaking on. You're right on, man. It's sad. It's sad. And I hope that Mike White comes back and we win our last 2 games and we finish 9-8. And even if we miss the playoffs, we missed the playoffs and we had a winning record. This team deserves a winning record this year, man. It doesn't deserve a losing record. God damn it. I mean, this Jets team has been atrocious ever since we lost Parise and AVT. feel me? Breece Hall and Elijah Vera Tucker. Those were the keys to the offense. They really were. Like, if you can pick two players that was the most impactful pieces to this offense to help us to 5-2, it's AVT and Breece Hall, and they both go down for the year in this same game. And the Jets are 2-5 since then, or maybe worse. I don't even know. We're 2-5. Wins going up against the Bills and the Bears. Pathetic nonsense. I'm so sick of this, man. I mean, we also have to realize this Jets team has definitely come a long way this year. We definitely have a lot of positives to take away from this season, and that's not me just trying to sugarcoat. We have the defensive and offensive rookie of the year potentially on the team. We have 4 Pro Bowlers and 3 reserves. We are a team that is, the future and the foundation is set. We have stars all over the place. But the reality is we are falling apart when you need to step up the most, and that's in December. We're falling apart when you need your team to start playing like the best football. Am I the only one that doesn't want Tom Brady? Like, what's with the Tom Brady talk? Tom Brady's freaking, looking terrible right now for the Bucs. I mean, what are we doing, guys? Tom Brady's 45 years old. He's not getting better. Our offensive line stinks. I don't want Tom Brady. I want another quarterback. I prefer Rodgers for sure. Give me Aaron Rodgers. Give me Derek Carr over Brady, to be honest. I mean, Derek Carr's at least youthful at some point. Without our offensive line, you think Brady's going to do anything? My prediction, we win the AFCs next year. Joe Douglas finds us a competent vet quarterback, Mike White or whoever, and this team takes off. This is the optimism we need, baby. Because the reality is we are a quarterback freaking away. We're a quarterback away. So this is not a far off take, because we're going next year. It's year 3 with the defense, and this we have to realize, I know the defense wasn't perfect last night, but this defense went from last place in last year in their first year with Saleh to top 5 with a lot of players. Sauce will get better in year 2. Jermaine Johnson will get a better role next year. Quinnen Williams, literally a megastar. So the defense is only going to get better next year. And we are a quarterback away. So this team's not far off. I promise you that. It feels like we're far off because the quarterback position is the most important position in sports, and we can't even freaking find one. My entire life. All I ever wanted was a franchise quarterback, man. I don't know why I can't just get a quarterback. I mean, the Jets, right? Are we cursed? What is it about this team that just can't get a quarterback? We got 173 people here watching me rant and scream and scream and shout and let it all out. And I'm just so freaking over it, man. I'm so pissed. I'm so Christmas Eve is tomorrow, and I don't even care right now. So, last night was a joke. Last night was an embarrassment. The whole world is talking on us and talking about how bad we are at the quarterback spot. Quarterback position stinks. Zach Wilson sucks. I mean, what more do you want me to say? What more do I say, guys? I pretty much said everything I needed to say about last night. What more do I even say, man? Hennessy, my guy, appreciate you, my man. Saleh and Douglas will get it done. Maybe we can find a quarterback late in the draft. Might not be this year, but it will happen. I have faith. Yeah, dude. I think Saleh and Douglas, in my opinion, have just earned their right to take another swing at a quarterback based on how they've, manipulated this team around it. And you got to keep the optimism, got to keep the faith. You got to. I mean, what else are we going to do? Just crumble down and, surround ourselves with misery and just crawl ourselves into a hole and not try to, be a fan base that provides some optimism? Like, nah. If you guys know me, I'm someone that's going to be realistically optimistic as much as I can and try to spark some life into this fan base and spark some life into this team. And let's freaking go, baby. Is it too much to ask for Mike White just to stay healthy? Because I love Mike White. V-Man, I will tell you, you watching Claus was better than finishing that game. Zach will only be good if he gets to the crossroad and sells you his you-know-what. Oh, that's a good one, V-Man. Yep. Obviously, Zach Wilson is a quarterback that is most likely done with the Jets, and maybe he'll have a career somewhere else. But very, very unfortunate, man. Oh, gosh. It's just an overall joke. You feel me? Last night felt like we were watching a joke. A joke! It's like, what do you want us to do as a Jets fan base on Twitter, on social media, as a content creator? What the hell do we do? I mean, freaking Geno Smith is a Pro Bowler right now. Our luck, Zach's going to go somewhere else and be a Pro Bowler. Who knows? Chris, another $5. Thank you, my man. Gardner Minshew plays this weekend. He could reignite his career as a starter here for less money than Carl Rogers, Jimmy G, and that class of vets. Yeah, obviously, Gardner Minshew is another quarterback to look out for. It's so tiring that we're having this conversation, but it has to be. Do you know what I meant by going to the crossroads? Yes, I do, V-Man. Yes, I do. Trade for Daniel Jones. That's actually an interesting discussion to have for the, obviously this is not a Giants channel. We're not Giants fans, but I am curious to see how the Giants handle Daniel Jones because they didn't pick up his fifth-year option, I believe. He's a free agent, so he would have to be extended by the Giants. Curious what they do. I'm not saying I want Daniel Jones, by the way. I'm just saying from a Giants perspective, I wonder if he's going to be re-signed by them. Bring Sam back. Hey, guys. Sam Darnold's better than Zach Wilson. And that anybody that's watched my channel since the beginning, you all know I was a lot higher on Sam Darnold than I was on Zach Wilson. That stinks that's the fact. Because I love Sam. And that's not I don't want you guys to make this seem like I'm saying this is a good thing. Because Darnold's like barely good. But the sad thing is he's better than Zach. That's sad. Sam was my boy, man. Sam Darnold was my guy. And it pained me that we got rid of him. It really did. And when we got Zach, I was like, wow, okay. I guess we're getting Zach Wilson. And I did my research. I'm like, okay. I am not crowning Zach Wilson as the franchise quarterback until he proves it. He hasn't proved shit. Hasn't proved anything. He hasn't done anything to prove to be the guy. Not one thing. What needs to happen for this team to have any chance at the playoffs now after yesterday's murder scene? Well, you want to talk about playoffs? I'm sure some people don't really want to hear about this, but I'll tell you what needs to happen, James. Patriots got to lose to the Bengals, and then the Patriots have to lose. Basically, the Patriots have to lose 2 of the 3 games, and the Jets have to win against the Seahawks and the Dolphins. That's it. That's how they make it. Pretty sure. Also, the Dolphins have to lose as well. Dolphins have to lose 1. Patriots have to lose 2 of the next 3. But the reality is we don't look like a playoff team. We don't deserve to be in the playoffs, right? We don't look like a team that belongs in the postseason. We don't have a freaking quarterback, man. So it's like all this playoff talk. It's like, yeah, I mean, we don't even belong in that combo. We had a chance to be a playoff team this year to end the drought. And it's over. We're done. We're not making the playoffs, guys, most likely. Because even if we win the last 2 games, we can still miss the playoffs. And the crazy thing about the playoff hunt, guys, out of all the scenarios, I think it would all work in our favor. But the one thing that scares me is the Jets winning. Because everything that the Jets need to get done for them to make the playoffs will get done, probably outside of them winning. I don't even want to think about mock drafts. I haven't done any research on the draft class next year yet, to be straight with you guys. Sadness, pain, sadness and pain. But hey, at least we're a tough fan base. We know we've been here before. We know what to expect, right? We know what to expect. We know how to handle the losing and the incompetence and the toxicness and the disappointment and the all about it, bro. We all know what to expect. Guys, I just want to say thank you for tuning in to Jets Media throughout this entire season. This channel has grown so freaking much. It's unreal. And you guys continue to show a lot of support through the winning, through the losing. And I appreciate that big time. I really do. So thank you guys. Thank you. Do me a favor, hit that like button. Let's get to 100 likes. We got over 200 people watching right now. SB3 Standards with the $5 super chat. It's all on Saleh, offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator. The whole team sucked. The whole team, top to bottom, is to blame. Mike Fleur was playing Xbox while a Super Bowl coach schooled him. Yeah, of course, the whole team deserves blame. Coaching staff from the top down, no doubt. Right? Zach Wilson is a scapegoat because he looks so freaking bad. But then you also have to look at the Robert Saleh. You have to look at LaFleur. You have to look at Ulbrich. You got to look at Brant Boyer. You got to look at the position coaches. You got to look at the players executing a scheme. It's an entire, joke of a franchise right now. I mean, don't get it twisted, man. Robert Saleh was in the conversation for Coach of the Year at some point this season for the job that he was doing. And now that's obviously not the case. Obviously not the case. LaFleur calling that pass to Uzama. Strev misses. Yeah, that was a touchdown. I mean, Streveler's a funny little character, but he had Uzama wide open, underthrew that ball. That would have been a touchdown if he led him down the field. They give up 19 points. If you can't score at least 20 in this league, you will lose a lot of games. Exactly. As bad as the defense was at giving up first downs and giving up a lot of yards, and that 95-plus yard touchdown drive was awful, but we still only gave up 19 points. Like, you're telling me that we can't have an offense to score 20-plus to win? If you told me going into the game, bro, that the Jets defense is going to hold the Jags to 19, and we're going to lose because we can't even score one freaking point on offense. I mean, the reality is, guys, we got shut out. Those 3 points we got was because of Quentin Williams, not because of the offense. Crazy. Craziness. Do we make the playoffs this year? We're not mathematically eliminated yet, but the reality is we're not making the playoffs because we can't even win games ourselves. We can't win games ourselves. Sanchez, Geno, Fitzpatrick, Darnold, all better than Zach Wilson. And the reality of that is so unreal. I can't believe that's true. But it's the truth. And Mike White. Zach Wilson is done as a Jet. The whole team had no energy for playoffs in our house. Embarrassing. Jags moved so easy on our D because of their head coach. Bam -2, Carter +2. Really? The offensive line, bro, the run game was atrocious. I was on my stream last night screaming at the TV that Michael Carter was our leading rusher at one point before Streveler came in with 3 fucking yards. 3 yards on the ground. What the hell? The reason why we were good at all this season was because of our run game. Thank you for the $5. I agree. I couldn't agree more. The entire team couldn't beat the Detroit Lions and the Jacksonville Jaguars at our own house. We should have beat the Lions. That was a game where I think we slipped away. But we looked like the Jaguars were the better team last night by a long margin. And that's sad. It's really sad. He's not done, Richie. Do you want to bet? Greg, so listen. I would love for Zach Wilson to not be done and for him to come back next year and become a top 10 quarterback. That's where people get twisted. I don't want people to get the idea that I root against players to be right. I want Zach Wilson to be good, but he's not good. Okay? He's proven that he's not. So I wouldn't bet this. If you still believe in Zach, kudos to you, and I hope he comes out there and plays well. Zach didn't show up, but come on, he had no support, none. Mark Sanchez walked into a Super Bowl-ready team. Come on. No, it's true. Zach had no support last night. He also couldn't do anything himself. Zach Wilson had no offensive line to protect for him. Zach Wilson had no running game to lean on. But Zach Wilson also couldn't do anything. Couldn't hit the easy throws. Couldn't scan a defense. Couldn't pick up blitzes. Couldn't make anything plays. I know it's asking for a lot, but you got to realize the expectations that we're talking about here. Zach Wilson was the 2nd overall pick. He should be able to elevate his team. When things don't go right around the quarterback, sometimes if you're a great quarterback, you have a little ability to elevate the guys around you, to be able to overcome bad offensive line. I mean, Joe Burrow last year, his offensive line was trash all season, and he goes to the Super Bowl. And I'm just giving you an example that there are examples of quarterbacks drafted high being able to overcome bad situations. And Zach Wilson cannot even do that. But it is true, though. The team around Zach Wilson was trash, and Zach Wilson was trash. And I'm not comparing Zach Wilson to Joe Burrow because Burrow's a champion. Burrow won a championship. He went to LSU. He actually had competition in college, and he went to the Super Bowl last year. But my point is, there's a lot of quarterbacks in this league that is able to overcome bad situations around them and prove that they are still talented. And it's like, okay, this quarterback's got something. We got to build around him. Zach Wilson's not giving you anything to give you as a Jets fan and an organization like, okay, Zach's got something. We got to build around this, man. What the hell does Zach Wilson have that should give the Jets organization any sort of optimism that, yeah, we got to build around this guy? What does he have? His ability to run around and throw the ball 60-plus yards? That's not sustainable. He doesn't have. If Zach Wilson showed, okay, wow, the offensive line's trash, the run game's trash, but Zach Wilson is still making plays and he can't get it going, but he's still showing something. It's like, oh, we might have something with Zach. We got to build around him. There's nothing he possesses that gives this fan base and this Jets organization any reason to believe that he's the guy for the future. It's the reality of it. Okay? His wrist motion. Is that why he was drafted number 2? Like, come on, bro. What are we doing here? Teams load the box and dare him to beat them. He can't. It's hard to run when 9 men in the box. Yeah, that's another thing, bro. If you want to talk about the Jaguars' defensive game plan, all they did is load the box and dare us to pass. And when it was pass plays, it was man coverage, single high safety, all-out blitz every time, and Zach could do nothing. Man coverage, single high safety, all-out blitz, no time for Zach to process anything. He's either sacked or he's done. They would stack the box when we try to run the ball. Can't go anywhere. So, Zach is done, bro. I don't know how many. Like, the only way Zach Wilson becomes something is if he just completely resets and he gets the right mindset in the offseason, man. This is an offseason worth of work. We're talking about a full offseason of Zach Wilson being able to fix his stuff. SB3 Standards with another $5. Thank you, my man. Zach needs development. He does not belong in the trash. Bucs game and Steeler game show he physically can do it. Get win-ready quarterback and let him grow. Listen, man, I think he can physically do it as well, but it's all up here that is the issue with Zach. He doesn't have confidence in himself. He doesn't have a rhythm in the game of football. He doesn't have timing. He doesn't have anticipation. It does not matter how physically gifted your arm is. Okay? That's a plus. But the fact is, Zach has lost confidence in himself, and that is bad. He needs a reset. And a 3-week reset is not a real reset, by the way. We're a quarterback away, folks. You're right, Richie. For the end of this year, Zach is done. It would have to be in the offseason. Not sure if it can happen, but there's always a chance. There's always a chance, my man. Jets fans trying to blame Zach when the entire offense is trash, including the coordinator. Zach is trash as well as the offense and the coordinator. My point is, Zach Wilson has not shown anything. You see, like, there's a lot of examples around the league where there's a great quarterback in a bad situation, still makes plays, and still gives you a reason to believe that he is something. Zach does none of that. Zach Wilson has no abilities, no flashes in the pan enough. He had nothing. He had a lot of flashes in the pan against the Lions. Where was that last night? Nothing. And you can't even make one excuse about the weather because of what we saw from Trevor Lawrence. Nothing. I think the reality is, bro, his future in the NFL is not on the Jets. It's just not. The media and the fan base, we are not patient and we don't allow development. And I think that's the reality of it, bro. And, bro, how sad is it? You guys got to realize something. Zach Wilson couldn't get a first down. They sub in a fourth-string CFL quarterback, and all of a sudden the Jets are in the red zone and they're about to score a touchdown. That doesn't tell you enough, bro. That doesn't freaking tell you enough. Our coaching staff sucked yesterday. That's what's more concerning to me. But everyone will just talk about Zach. That's unfortunate. Now, bro, you're 100% right. The coaching staff was ass on all accounts. Offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, head coach. They all got to be held accountable, just like as much as Zach. It's awful. They were terrible. They did not have a good game plan. They did not have I don't know what the issue is, but the reality is this coaching staff has been just completely crumbling. The Jaguars outcoached us. Doug Peterson is a Super Bowl winning coach. And he went out there and executed a game plan. And the reality is the good teams and the good coaches get better in December, not worse. So you're 100% right, my man. Saleh definitely deserves blame. 100% Saleh deserves blame. Just as much as Zach. Unfortunate stuff, man. The Jets go out there on Thursday Night Football and they give Zach crap. Coaching perspective, terrible. Offensive perspective, terrible. Defensive perspective, terrible. Robert Saleh doesn't have this team as, connected as you think. Our D giving up too much clock. A 96-yard touchdown. Absolutely. There's a part to that game last night that's unacceptable. We're not playing playoff football. All around. We're not playing playoff caliber football. I mean, that's simple. Defensively, we're not playing playoff caliber football. Offensively, we're not even playing like we belong in the fucking NFL. Okay? And then Richard from Jersey says, this is all on Zach Wilson. He won't throw that first read. Yeah, I mean, a lot of it has a blame on him. No doubt about it. I genuinely believe that Mike White would have put this Jets team in a better situation to win last night. I really believe that. Because and the numbers don't lie, man. Go look at the numbers. Every single time, and this is the sad part about Zach Wilson, guys. And any Zach Wilson stan out there, please let me know how you can defend this. Because you can't. Spoiler alert, you can't defend this. I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but every single time the Jets have put a new quarterback in the game that's not named Zach Wilson, even go back to last year, Mike White, even Josh freaking Johnson, Joe Flacco, Chris Streveler, all of those quarterbacks have proved to be able to move the freaking ball and average way more yards per game than Zach Wilson's ever done in his life. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? It's up here because Josh Johnson, he's a lifelong backup quarterback, but he's a veteran that knows how to scan a defense. Joe Flacco, shell himself, can't move. He's a statue, but at least Joe Flacco knows where the ball's supposed to go, and he can scan a freaking defense. Mike White can scan defenses. Chris Streveler has mobility. Where does Zach Wilson possess? Nothing sustainable. That should tell you all of it. That Zach Wilson, every single time a quarterback not named Zach Wilson enters the game for the Jets, the offense looks completely different and they move the ball. King Luca, coming from a Jags fan, we came into the game running the ball in short passes because of weather. First half, the Jets ran it 5 times. It's horrible. Yeah, the Jaguars came out there with a very good game plan. Very good game plan. And they executed their game plan to perfection. They knew that the weather was going to be whack. They dink and dunk. They had good misdirections. They got little swing passes. They ran the ball well, and the Jaguars' offense looked so much better than our offense, and our defense it was hard for our defense to stop you guys. So kudos to you. Congratulations. Trevor Lawrence is definitely the franchise quarterback for you. It sucks, but when you know what we're a quarterback away because we finally have a solid GM who hit on draft, let's get a quarterback, go from there, enjoying your stream. Fire. Thank you, Scott. I appreciate that, man. It's not easy going live like this and just completely, roasting my own squad. But when you got to roast him, you got to roast him. You got to roast him, you got to roast him. And we got freaking embarrassed on primetime television. Nobody in the league is now looking at the Jets as a serious threat. Nobody. We were a fun story at one point. We were a fun story. People are like, oh wow, the Jets are good, man. They got a fun team, and we do have a fun team. But the reality is, we just got absolutely manhandled last night and looked atrocious on all accounts. SB3 again, thank you so much, my man. It really does help a lot. All these donations. Streveler would have never done what Zach did in the Steeler game. I don't think anybody's saying that Streveler is better than Zach Wilson, but in that moment last night, Zach Wilson gets benched. Streveler comes in. What happens? Offense starts to move. Streveler brings a different element to the game of running the ball. And what Zach Wilson did against the Steelers was great, but he's not done that since. He also threw 2 picks in that game. So I wish Streveler, we'll see, but I'm not a Streveler stan, by the way. I don't know if you think I am, and I'm not. Zach Wilson's better than Chris Streveler, but at the time last night, you got to make a change. You had to make a change last night. Zach Wilson is very raw. Get a veteran quarterback to start and have Zach sit a year, or even have him sit behind Mike White for a year. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. I mean, there's no shot that the Jets go into the season next year with Zach as the starting quarterback. I'd be shocked if they do that. There's no way. There's no freaking way they're going to do that. So it's either they bring back Mike White or they go out there and get another veteran, whoever it's going to be. Zach is not going to be the starter, and they're going to go into training camp with a competition, and they're going to give Zach an opportunity to fight for it, but he's not going to win it. Richie, keep your head up, man. Your team is a quarterback away from making the playoffs. And that is definitely a good feeling because Jets fans, we do have to put in perspective here that this organization has been not having a good quarterback, but that we've also been so bad around the quarterback, and we're finally good around the quarterback. So things are definitely trending in the right direction. This is not the same old Jets, because if this was the same old Jets, we'd be, getting a top 5 pick right now. Did you know Zach has ADHD? Googled it. This could be one of the many reasons. It affects your focus. Yeah, I mean, I knew he had ADHD. I mean, maybe that does affect his ability to scan the field. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to pinpoint that as the reason why he stinks. But I don't know. Never knew. I knew he had ADHD, but I never really made that like a part of his evaluation process. But I guess it could be. Every time the Jets have put a new quarterback in besides Zach Wilson, they look completely different and better. What does that tell you? It tells you a lot, man. Richie, did that throw from Streveler to Uzama should have been a touchdown? Yeah, easily should have been a touchdown. And I honestly think Zach Wilson would have hit that throw for the touchdown because he actually can throw the ball down the field. Streveler can't. He had Uzama wide open for a touchdown, and he underthrew it. Merry Christmas, Richie. Keep the faith. Zach will light it up against the Seahawks. I do believe that Zach has mental things going on, but I love the kid and believe is developing people. SB3 Standards, thank you so much for all these donations, man. Merry Christmas to you. Really does help out the channel a ton. You have no idea. I respect that you are still keeping in your faith for Zach Wilson. I respect that a lot. And I want Zach Wilson to be the guy more than anybody else. And I just want to make people realize that it doesn't give me happiness and it doesn't make me feel good about myself of roasting our quarterback. Like, I want him to be the guy. I don't want to roast him right now. But the reality is, I just don't see it. I don't. In SP3 standards, I really do appreciate you a lot, and I hope that you're right. That's all I'm going to say. I hope that you're right. Merry Christmas to you, my friend. How's Jack? I don't know, George. Someone's got to check on Jack. Jack's not doing well. I mean, Jack is doing just as well as all of us, right? Jack is sick and tired of this. Good luck on the round table, Richie. Yeah, that's going to suck. Oh, my God. Someone in the chat said trade Sauce. Where do they say that? Where do they say that? I'm not even going to give that any life because that's obviously trolling. Obviously trolling. So, our rookie class is our biggest asset, 100%. Our biggest asset is our rookies. No doubt. And it's so unfortunate that we are a very talented team around the quarterback, and the quarterback stinks. All right, well, the moment you all been waiting for is the call-in segment of the show. So, guys, feel free to call in. I'm going to put the link in the chat. You guys can click it. You can join, and you can give your overall thoughts of the game last night and your overall perspective of what the Jets should be doing. I mean, it's going to be a therapy session. It's going to be a lot of pissed off Jets fans that we're going to be getting to, and I'm sure, you guys are going to let me have it, and as you should. So call in, guys. I'm going to be right back, and then when I come back, we're going to bring in all the callers. So let's do it. Everyone join in. And let's talk some Jets together, cry together, sorrow together. All right, guys, come on in. We're going to get everyone to let your feelings out about that game last night. So click the link that's pinned at the top of the chat, and you'll get access to join, and we can all soak in our sorrow together and cry. All right, let's get the first caller in. Hold on one second. All right, guys. Again, click the link at the top of the chat if you want to join. And also hit that thumbs up button if you're not already. Helps out the stream. And yeah, man, let's get it going.
Hey, Richie.
What up, Charles? How you doing, my friend?
Last night was a fucking disgrace. Oh, my dad was pretty pissed about it too.
Tell me about it.
So, I was just relaxing. I was just chilling for the day, and there's like, oh, the Jet game's on, and then first play of the defensive, well, not first play, but first defensive series, Quentin Williams gets a strip sack, gets his 12th sack of the season, still leads all defensive tackles in sacks. I think he's the best defensive tackle in football this season.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it. He's an all-pro. It's so crazy, like, in that moment, and we can't even celebrate that play because, I think that was the only play of the game last night that we were excited about. All the rest
I
of the
know,
plays,
everything else was terrible.
yeah, even like the small little explosive plays, you're like, all right, good, let's keep it going, and then they don't.
I can't even believe I'm going to say this, but I can't even believe how bad Zach has been. Like, it's been because this kid has a shitload of talent, and yet he's not properly showcasing it in the pros. It's disgraceful.
That's the reality, man. He's got the talent physically, but he doesn't have the mental ability to put it all together, and you're not going to survive in this league.
I think a lot has to do with this coaching staff putting too much in his head, but then again, it might have something to do with Zach Wilson's immaturity.
Yeah, I agree. It does have a lot to do with his immaturity and his ability to gather guys around. And hopefully, he can't simply do that.
Mike White's able to play on next week.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the update. He's fractured ribs, so we're talking about a bone issue rather than a soft tissue, so it's not really something that you can really predict. But if he can't go, I have no idea what the Jets are going to do. Are they going to throw Zach Wilson back out there? I don't know.
I don't think they should.
I don't want to see Joe Flacco. I don't want to
Yeah, Joe Flacco's a freaking statue.
So it's really.
It'll be Chris Streveler time.
Yeah, it'll be Streveler time. It'll be a freaking Wildcat offense throughout the entire game. That's going to be something, man, if that has to happen. But the reality is the Jets are on a 4-game freaking losing streak, and we are fumbling in the clutch.
Yeah, it sucks, man. But let me tell you, this year is not negative. We've had a few all pros. I mean, we have I don't really care too much about the Pro Bowl, to be honest. I think Pro Bowl sucks.
Yeah, we do have some positives. There's no doubt about it. And that's 100% right. We got Pro Bowlers all across this team. We got potential all pros. But this is definitely, those positives are leaving some salty taste in our mouth. So, Charles, I appreciate the call. We're probably going to get to the next call right now.
By the way, Merry Christmas. Tell your
family I was about to say
Merry Christmas and a happy, healthy New Year.
You too, my man.
I'll see you next week.
Yeah, I'll see you next week, my friend. Have a Merry Christmas to you and your family. Peace out, Charles. All right, guys. Again, if you want to join in the show, click the link at the top of the chat. And we're going to get to all the callers today.
Go call them. I'll watch.
What's up, Pete?
Hey, what's up, Richie, man? Merry Christmas and a happy, healthy New Year to all our Jet fans. Real quick question, and what you really think about this. As an old-timer, I'm older probably than your dad. One of the responsibilities that we really need to take a look at here is, and I'm a fan of his, Mike LaFleur, how he has this inability, and I understand the whole gig with 4 different quarterbacks coming and looking like they're playing. First of all, we would have had Mike White, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, whomever last night behind that O-line, they would have gotten killed. The only reason Strev did it, and I love Strev, I love our quarterbacks, but the only reason that Strev did it was because he could manipulate quickly off the snap, and he's mobile. That's number one. Number two, my most important question here is about Mike LaFleur, who I am a fan of, and maybe this is his growth spurt that he's got to go through too, how he has an inability, okay, and I'm tired of putting everything just on Zach, how he has an inability, Mike LaFleur, to adjust to game time situation depending on how the defenses are approaching our offensive play calling. Absolutely. The other issue that I'm talking about is, and I understand, I love the fact that we have a 4-line defense that could go up against anybody in the NFL. But how is it that Ulbrich doesn't allow for maybe 5 to 10% blitzing? That's my take on it. And believe me, I'm heartbroken, and trust me, for many, many years, even before you were born, I've been heartbroken. But I'm still a Jet fan, and we're still going to do something. And I wouldn't be surprised if somehow we get in through the back door. That's just the way the Jets are.
Yeah, I mean, you've been through it all, and I appreciate all that knowledge that you bring. And the reality is, the offensive coordinator deserves just as much blame as the quarterback because he's not giving Zach Wilson, he's not giving this offense any creative looks to adjust to what the defense is giving them. I mean, you saw what the Jaguars are doing defensively, Pete.
Correct.
They were just stacking the box, daring us to throw the ball. I mean, and we were run the ball, try to establish a run. It wasn't working. And they were like, okay, Zach, beat us with your arm. And he couldn't even do that. He can't get the ball out quickly. But it's also up to Mike LaFleur to be able to scheme up opportunities to free up guys to, allow everything to happen. So it's a collective effort offensively. And Mike LaFleur, I'm a fan of, but he deserves a lot of criticism. And Jeff Ulbrich as well in terms of adjusting. Doug Peterson completely just outcoached their defense. I mean, he was
absolutely.
picking apart the misdirections, the check downs, the just finding the soft spot in the zone, getting rid of the ball quickly. And it was just really upsetting that we just go out there and we just got outcoached. And the topic of this is Zach, but the reality is we got outcoached last night.
Oh, that is true. That is true. Not only did we get somewhat outplayed, and I love our defense where we stand, and I'll let you go because I'm sure there's other callers waiting online anxiously. But our defense, to allow 90-something yards on 14 to 16 plays, something like that?
17 plays.
17 plays, correct. Oof, that hurts.
Bad.
That's bad.
Bad. You're
that wasn't Zach Wilson. That wasn't Zach.
Absolutely not. You're 100% right because the offense is sitting on the sideline ice cold while the defense is getting worked. And then the offense comes out there and the clock, by the way, is just getting milked. And it's just so unfortunate. The Jaguars did a great job of dinking and dunking and establishing a run and knowing what to do. And, as good as his defense has been this season, they've been taking a step back. And you thought that would be a difference when you see Quinton Williams make that play, right?
I know.
Oh my God, we're back to the defensive dominance that led this team. But then it all went downhill after that play.
I hear you. Hey, man, great show. God bless you.
Thank you,
to all Jet fans out there, hey, listen, I live in Tampa. I retired and I moved from Jersey to Tampa. And trust me, the bane of our existence moves down here. I don't want him. I don't want Aaron. I don't want any. I want to work with what we have, and I think that we can. Even if it means, my son wants Lamar. We should sell the house for Lamar. And that's about the only quarterback, to be honest with you, that I would experienced quarterback out there that I would really be interested in. Otherwise, you know what? We have coaches. We need a better scouting. We need a coaching, a quarterback coach. That's what we really.
Rob Calabrese is definitely not cutting it.
Nah, he's a kid. He's a young man, and I just don't think his experience is cutting it for this.
I agree. We need an experienced person out there. Well, Pete, Merry Christmas to you and your family. I appreciate you calling in.
Thank you very much, man, and God bless you.
You, my man. Enjoy the rest of your day and have a safe holidays.
You bet.
Thank you, Pete. All right, we're going to get to the next caller, guys. Thank you for everybody's waiting patiently behind stage. Hit that thumbs up button if you're just tuning in, man. And thank you to everybody, man. This is we can call it Jets therapy session or whatever you want to call it. But it's a sad day as a Jets fan. We got Denver. What up, man? Can you hear me, Denver? Denver, we're going once, going twice. All right, we'll maybe go back to Denver a little bit. Next caller, we got Jay. What up, Jay?
What's up, Richie? How you doing, brother?
I'm doing all right. How you doing, my friend?
No, not too good, man. Horrible night last night. I'm very disappointed. I just had one question. When a quarterback's doing bad, they replace him. When an athlete is doing bad, they replace him. But at what point do you replace an offensive coordinator?
Yeah, that's a great question because, you can't do that in the middle of the season, right? Because we're trying to fight for the playoffs. So I think that's more of an off-season question. And LaFleur is definitely not looking like the guy right now. And there's no sugarcoating that, Jay. And you're 100% right. You blame the quarterback, you blame this, you blame that. But the offensive coordinator got to hold himself accountable.
I mean, the guy is passing on a 3rd and 1. 4th and 1, the guy is passing. You're supposed to, you got Robinson, you got 3 good running backs, backup running backs, whatever they are. Bam Knight, even Zach Wilson, could pick up a yard. The guy's throwing on a 3rd and 1, for God's sakes.
I know. And the offensive line was Bam Knight, he's been a big disappointment the last 2 weeks,
Well,
right?
you just can't blame him. What about the offensive line?
That's what I'm
You know,
saying. And it's a collective effort. It's the offensive line cannot protect for these guys. And they don't even have a chance to get to the line of scrimmage without being tackled behind in the backfield. It's
I mean,
ridiculous.
what are these guys doing? What were they riding those electric bikes that was given to them all week? You know?
Yeah, you talk about that. Zach Wilson just spent a fortune on his offensive line gifts, and then he has to get benched for Streveler. That's sad.
Yeah, so I don't know what's gonna happen, I really don't know, and I'm just confused. I've been a fan since 1987. My kids always tell me, why do you do this? Why do you do this to yourself? I'm just embarrassed. I live in New England, for God's sakes.
Oh man.
Yeah. I
Enemy
go to
territory,
work.
that's for sure.
Yes, I go to work, and I gotta hear this. Every week I tell them, you know what, the Jets are gonna win. Jets. I look like a fool. I sound like a fool. I look like a fool. And I'm just, that's all, Rich. I just want to vent. Thank you, man. God bless you, brother.
Yeah, you too, man. This is an opportunity for you to vent and let it all out, and that's why you're here, man. So happy holidays to you, and enjoy the rest of your day, my man.
You too, my brother.
Great call from Jay. Oh man, I can relate to that a little bit because I went to college upstate New York, so I was in Bills Mafia territory at that time. The Bills weren't that good at that time, so it wasn't that bad, but it still sucked being in an enemy territory like that. Fresh, you there? Fresh, my man. You're live. Come on, Fresh. I know you're there, buddy. All right, we're going to come back to you, my man. Maybe he's just fixing his mic or something. What's good, Paul? You're live, baby.
Yeah, hey, what's going on?
What's up, man? Hey, I love that Quinn Williams sign thing. I got the same one right there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's cut off halfway. You can't really see it, but it's the same one.
Yeah, pretty much the only good thing going on last night. So I thought I'd
yeah, literally.
First of all, I want to say thanks for having us all on. Appreciate everything you do here.
Of course.
But yeah, last night was pretty bad. You're looking forward to the game all week. You're expecting team to come out firing on all cylinders. Most important game of the year in terms of playoff, and all that juice from Jacksonville, and the Jets were just dead. If you look at the stat sheet, one of the craziest things was the only scoring drive was on -3 yards. -3 yards the whole game.
And that's because of that, man.
Yep.
Because of Big Q.
Yeah, the main reason why I wanted to ask, I just want to see what do we think we're really going to be doing about Zach Wilson, because would you more want to go into the offseason trying to make it a competition or trying to seek a trade? And if so, what team would be willing to pursue him, and what would they even give up?
Yeah, that's a great question, Paul, because, we already went through this before with Sam, but Sam went through 3 years with the Jets. Now Zach's gone through 2 years with the Jets. I honestly don't think, I could be completely wrong, and I actually didn't expect the Jets to trade Sam, so I was wrong about that. But I think that the Jets are probably going to try to re-sign Mike White and retain Zach Wilson, and maybe even bring in another quarterback to have 3 quarterbacks going in, because, we need to be deep at that position, because we know one thing as Jets fans, no matter who the quarterback is, good or bad, they never stay healthy. So we kind of need depth at that position. And if I'm predicting it, I think that they're going to roll with Zach Wilson in terms of, going into training camp with the open competition. But they're not going to roll in with him as a starter. But at the same time, you look around, they could pursue a trade, and he is going into year 3 on a rookie contract. There could be a team out there that wants to take a flyer on him. You never know.
Yeah, when I think of that, I think of a lot of the NFC South teams, whether that being the Bucks, the Saints, the Falcons. I could see them all giving him a shot, seeing if there is anything less. And I do agree that probably bring in, whether it's Jimmy G, Derek Carr, but I don't think I'm really comfortable jumping in with another rookie quarterback.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah,
and
whether that being Hendon Hooker and C.J. Stroud, Levis, all those guys will probably be long gone.
I think the only way the Jets draft a quarterback this year is if it's in the later rounds and it's more of a developmental thing where he sits for a year or two. Like there's no way we draft a quarterback and he's a starter week 1. They can't do that again based on how this team is ready to win right now. That doesn't send the right message.
Don't feel comfortable with Anthony Richardson in round 1. Hendon Hooker after the ACL round 3 or 4.
Exactly, man. It's and it's really unfortunate, Paul, that we're having this convo because I am so sick of covering Jets quarterback controversies and who we're going to get. But it's the reality that we're in, and we're used to it. So we'll see. It's going to be either Jimmy G, Derek Carr. I mean, there's so many guys out there, even Mike White. And we'll see, man. And I appreciate the call, Paul. Have a happy holidays, my friend. And let's freaking go Jets, man. Keep your head up.
All right. Yep. Thank you very much.
All right, man. Enjoy. Peace out, man. Great call from Paul. Great call from Paul. All right, man. We're getting all you guys tuning in. Fresh, you there now?
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I was on the phone, man.
Nah, you're good. You're live now. What's good, man?
I'm blessed, man. I was doing just like you yesterday, man. I felt your pain after you turned that live off, dude. I knew you were just holding that face for us, dude. I felt your pain after that live. As soon as it ended, the way you got up, dude, I'm like, oh, Richie.
Oh, you saw me get up? I don't even know when the stream ended. You probably saw my face turn.
No, it wasn't even a face, dude. It's just how you got. I read body language, dude. Like, it was just your whole body language, dude. You wanted to end the live, but it was just like you have, support. You want to support your team, but it's just like, what am I supporting? Like, what am I supporting, dude? Like, so I just want to get to like, dude, this is the best offense, whether it's up and down or not. This is the best offensive scheme we've seen. And I'm going to say, I've been literally watching every game for guaranteed 15 years. I haven't seen our offense this season. We've had a 1,000-yard receiver, and he barely got any touches, really. If you ask me, not targeted the way he should be. You get what I'm saying? He would literally have 1,500 yards if Mike White was starting day one, literally. So it's just like we have so many bright spots. So for Zach, just like I said, our offense is the easiest type of offense for any NFL quarterback to. It's a two-read scheme offense, meaning you have two options within every play. So that means the indecisiveness isn't because of the whole coach, because obviously, like you said, every time someone comes in, they do great because it's a two-option offense. If your first read isn't there, dude, you're supposed to go to this. That's why most of the time when the first read's there, it's always somebody else open because that's what the offense caters to. You get what I'm saying? So I don't want to hear anything about Mike Love. Yes, it's his second year coaching. He's never done this. This is big on one of the biggest stages out of them all in New York, dude. He's gonna go through his effing flows of being, calling bad calls. Like he said before, your job is to make my bad play calling good, not make my bad play calling worse. Like it all goes back to, together as a team. Tom Brady's never snapped the ball without pre-snap reading. Is that Josh McDaniels? No, that's Tom Brady realizing, okay, he's calling something for me. Let me make the best, the best out of the situation. Not, do what he's telling me and then it looks stupid and then I'm blaming the coach. And no, that's not how it goes, dude. That is not pre-snap read. Mike White did that his first starting game. When Mike White started that first game, he pre-snap read his first play. His first play, dude. So that's just like, he's not the sack from yesterday was Zach. When the dude basically showed blitz, the safety showed the blitz, and then he kind of went back and then went to the line. Like, Zach, you're not reading their defense. You're not seeing him off the edge as a spy about to blitz you. Like, you don't see that. And he took a sack. I'm like, no way you did not see him breathing down your neck coming down the line, dude. Like, he has no awareness, dude. It's not Mike LaFleur. It's not anybody. The offensive line, like they said last year, we was giving Connor McGovern a bad look because we was talking about he threw Zach under the bus about holding the ball too long. No, if you're holding the ball too long, dude, your offensive line is not able to sustain your drop steps. They don't know, all right, if you take 3 stops, I can take 2 stops for this the end. You get what I'm saying? It's too 100%. Much going on. You get what I'm saying? That's why they like Mike Watt. He take his 2-step drop, deliver the ball. It makes the offense look good. It makes the offensive line look good. It makes the running backs look good. You cannot go out there with an incompetent quarterback in the NFL in 2022, dude. No way.
And he's showing that he can elevate. And to your point, there are quarterbacks in this league that can overcome bad play calling and overcome bad offensive lines. They can overcome things.
We see it every week. Literally, I have not. Dude, they get paid to stop these offensive coordinators, dude. There's more. What could I say? How could I put it? There's more notable defensive coaches than there are offensive coaches. Am I right? So that's how you know there's more defense-minded bases in the NFL. Everything is the Shanahan offense. No other type of offense but the Shanahan offense. There's the Bruce Arians offense. There's all types of different, but like I said, it's only a handful that we can name. Defenses, dude, there's so many styles, dude. There's so many styles. So I don't know, dude. I love where we're at. I'm blessed to be where we are. And like I said, these last 2 games, man, I just want my team to continue to do what they did from the very first week to the week 18, man. Play with your hair on fire and let them know you're there. That's it.
Absolutely. They got to play with the hair on fire, and they absolutely need to finish off the season with a bang, because if they lose the next 2, we lose 6 straight to finish off the season, bro. I don't care who the quarterback is. That's just not going to be a good look for the coaching staff. It's not going to be a good look for the team overall, and they got to get their act together. So I agree with everything you said, Fresh. I think that this quarterback situation is it's proving that. I mean, it goes back to my first point that I said early on. Look at the numbers every time a quarterback not named Zach Wilson goes out there, and they're putting up a lot of yards and a lot more points than him. So
it's
an unfortunate
absurd.
Reality, man. It really is.
Absurd.
And Fresh, I appreciate the call. I appreciate the passion as always. You always bring the fire. And happy holidays, my friend.
Happy holidays, man. Merry Christmas to everyone in the chat and to all the Jets fans, man.
Hell yeah, man. Enjoy it with your family and friends.
You as well. Thank you again.
Got you, bro. Anytime. See, this is why we call it the Open Jets therapy session, because it's you're allowed to let loose how you feel. A lot of people are criticizing this person. You disagree. I want to defend this person. That's what this is all about, man. Oh, and my battery on my camera just died. So give me 1 second before we bring in the next caller. Actually, here. We're going to bring in the next caller while I switch my battery real quick. Andrew, what up, bro?
How are you? I was at the game last night.
Oh, no.
I worked
I'm
today.
so
Actually,
sorry to
no,
hear that, Andrew.
I don't regret it, to be honest, because I feel like I always yell at the TV, so it was nice to be like just frustrated with other people there.
That's true.
But yeah, I don't know. I think the 2 worst games Zach's had this year, bad weather, the wind, the rain, and they were not respecting him at all. Like, you could tell easily when I was there, they had guys right up on the line, but it felt like they had 5 across half the time. Like,
oh yeah, they did.
It was just like, like, who does that? Who puts 5 like up front? Like, they just blitzed all the time, and it worked because he couldn't take advantage of like the single high safety. When Streveler came in, they stopped playing that way. So that's part of why it got going. But the O-line, it's been bad, and we know that. But I think part of it is like, if you have 6, 7 people coming, like, you can't physically block everybody. They're not doing a good job, for sure, and their penalties are just, oh my god. But besides that, I just think that they need the quarterback just needs to get the ball out quick and move around, just throw it, whatever, and then once they move back, then the O-line has a chance and can kind of push forward with the run game. And I think that's what we've seen. That's why the run and the blocking of the offensive line gets better when Zach's out, because I don't know, it's out on Zach, and Zach hasn't really adjusted. But I don't know if he's gonna make it in New York because of that weather thing. Because when he was throwing those deep balls, they probably they show on the TV probably like he throws, and they show you like the receiver down field or whatever. But when I could see like the whole thing going up in that rain, every time he tried to go deep, it was like a duck. The one that Corey Davis that got batted away, that was the worst ball he threw all night, like worse than his interception, because it was up, clearly up in the air, and the defender had a great shot at it. And if that's Elijah Moore there, it's a pick. But
Corey Davis turned into a DB on that play.
Jumped in, made an amazing play, like somehow, and we were all just like, oh my gosh. I don't know, but honestly, after that game, I think the best, with the way the fans are, with all the booing and stuff, and it's easy too. I got into it. With everything that's gone on, it just seems like the best route right now is trade him, get some picks back, even if it's low. Joe Douglas does a good job with picks, and either sign a quarterback to compete with White or draft a quarterback to sit or something like that. Whatever it is they want to do, it's just, I think, and get Mike White bulked up, because that guy can't be that skinny back there and take all these shots because I don't know.
agree,
We've
man.
seen it. He did it in the ring with the Bears. It's
I know. It's like that's the thing. You receive 2 games with Zach Wilson with bad elements, looks trash, uses it as an excuse, and then Mike White has 1 game in the elements, carves up a bad defense, and then you see Trevor Lawrence last night in a bad,
he looked amazing.
he looked amazing,
so
and
glad
it's not
after
like he
the-
was airing the ball out to 15 plus yards. I mean, it was good scheme. They knew that it was gonna be bad weather, so it was dink and dunk, check down, running plays, side it was just horizontal routes, and it looked good. So
he was making great throws.
Andrew, I appreciate the call. I appreciate you giving us your perspective from being at the stadium, because that obviously, being at a lot of Jets games, you get to see the game from a completely different perspective. So I appreciate that, Andrew. I'm happy that you had a fun time last night and you supported the Jets in our last home game of the year. And yeah, man, have a happy holidays, my friend, and enjoy the rest of your night.
Thanks, man. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, all that.
You too, my man. Denver.
What's
Can you hear
up,
me?
Richie? Yeah, Richie.
There you are. What's up, my man?
Not much. So before Jets fans jump down my throat, I'm a Bills fan, but I wanted to come here and speak some love to you guys because holy shit, am I nervous about the Jets when you guys get a quarterback. That defense is like the only defense that's made Josh Allen look like a certified bum all year. You guys hands down beat us fair and square that first game. And once you guys get a quarterback, bro, like it's over. Like it's going to be competitive. And if your defense keeps playing the way it is against us, like I really don't see any way you guys aren't competing for a division title every year. So I know Jets fans are all doom and gloom, upset, like the season's over. But I can tell you as a realistic Bills fans up here in Buffalo and we're talking to each other, we're not talking about the Dolphins. We're not talking about the Patriots. We're talking about the Jets. Like, we are all worried about the Jets.
Well, that's definitely a good thing to hear from a Jets fan perspective, because we need something. And, we are a quarterback away. And the issue with us as a Jets fan base is like, you had a quarterback issue for a long time, and you finally got Josh Allen. And that's the last thing of your worries is who's going to be your quarterback. And now us as a Jets fans, we're like, this is the first time where the quarterback is the only thing holding this team back, where it used to be the quarterback and the team around. So we're like, are we ever going to get the quarterback right? Is it Mike White? Is it another veteran? Who knows who's it going to be? But I appreciate that because, I always go back to that game that we beat you at MetLife, and it's like, wow, Zach Wilson beat Josh Allen. Like, how did we do that? Want to know why? It's because we had a team around Zach that was balling out, and it really worked. And the defense contained you guys, and that gave me, in that moment, a feeling of, wow, this Jets team is different. This Jets team has a defense that can match up against, one of the top teams in the league. So I appreciate that, Denver. Really, Jets fans need some type of optimism.
Absolutely. And the last thing I'll say, because I know there's other callers, is that I want you guys to get a quarterback because I want that to be competitive. I'd rather see you guys be good than, just beat you guys once or twice a year and, lollipop our way to a division. So I'm rooting for you guys to get a quarterback to make us have to earn it a little bit more.
Well, we appreciate that. We hope we get a quarterback as well, and we're hoping that the Buffalo Bills and the New York Jets rivalry stems deep, and maybe one day we can meet in the playoffs, because that means the Jets are in there, and we actually have, fight for division titles and stuff as a Jets fan perspective, and let's hope that it's us two at the top instead of those bum Dolphins and Patriots, right?
Absolutely, bro. Have a good one.
All right, man. Have a good one, my man. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Look at that, man. We got Bills fans telling us to keep our head up high. And that's a cool thing that I've been hearing for some Bills fans, that they think out of all their losses, we logistically beat them. Because you look at the other Bills losses, that Vikings loss was kind of wild. That Bills loss back in week 3, there's a lot of components in that game. So really is interesting, man. And I'm down. Let's go get Aaron Rodgers. I don't know. Give me a quarterback. Josh, what's up, man? I haven't seen you happy and myself happy in quite some time.
Yeah, man. Sorry about missing the other shows, man. Just had a lot going on, family stuff, man.
Of course, man. Hope all's well with you, man.
Yes, sir. But man, just horrible, man. Horrible, terrible, unacceptable, everything. Like I watched a live last.
Oh, we lost Josh for a sec.
Hold on.
Oh, there you go. You're
I got
good.
a call. I watched your live last night with you and Jack, and I felt y'all pain too. Same as Too Fresh said. The last not the last caller, but yeah, Too Fresh. Man, like, and it's kind of three things I want to speak on. First is like, I'm not just now realizing it, but this is my first time saying it. Like, we really be running like on first and second downs, we run our third or fourth down plays on first and second down, which rather we should be running our third and fourth down plays on first and second down. It's like first down, it's always a run.
Our
Second
first down
down,
play calling is bad,
like
and execution.
it's horrible. Like, it's horrible. And second thing, Zach Wilson, like I don't know if anybody else has the same energy, but and I don't know if everybody else watches his interviews, but ever since he came back from what he said the first time, it's like he doesn't even really care about going to the playoffs. He don't care about making it to the championship. He just want to play football, which is okay, but you got to set a goal for yourself. You're an NFL quarterback. Why are you just I'm just here for the team and stuff. I just want to be there for the guys and stuff like that, and just call the plays. And like that's not the energy that we want as a franchise quarterback.
Facts.
I lost faith in Zach Wilson. I'm like all faith. Like, it's hard to say that. I don't want to say that, but it's the truth. Like, what are you doing out there? Like, Streveler came in the game and like the whole crowd just went crazy. Like, so like it's not like, it's not the coaches, it's not the team, it's the quarterback. I mean, yes, the coaches may I feel like Robert Saleh should have put Streveler in right after halftime. Like, he waited too late to put him in, like, so it was no chance for us to come back. What else did I want to speak on? It's like, it's just
I agree with what you said, bro. I really comes down to this quarterback. It really does. I mean, the coaches deserves blame too, and I always come down to this exact point that I said multiple times. You put any quarterback behind center besides Zach Wilson, they look, and even Streveler proves it. I mean, that's the icing on the cake, bro. Like, Mike White, yes. Joe Flacco, first 3 weeks, he was a statue, but guess what? Joe Flacco averaged 300 plus yards per game, and they were moving the ball. Like, it didn't look like an inept offense with Joe Flacco, even though he's a statue and can't move. Mike White, even Josh Johnson last year, and now even Chris freaking Streveler. I mean,
like,
it's just, he had a better game than Zach last night, and he played a lot less snaps.
Like, you're exactly right about everything. Like, and like, that game just really reminded me of the Patriots game with Zach Wilson. Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing, Zach Wilson? Like, and like, I don't really want to put the blame on him. It is the offensive coordinator too. Like, but at the same time, like that one play when Streveler rolled out to the right and he was looking downfield, he just ran it. He didn't hesitate, nothing. He just ran it. Why can't you do that, Zach Wilson? Why can't you do the same
He's
thing?
overcomplicating things in his mind. He's overthinking. He's overanalyzing. He doesn't have that, instinctual flow in his body where he's confident and like you see the great quarterbacks, they're just like letting it happen. They're in the rhythm, and he doesn't have that. If you watch the interview last night, he said himself, I don't have a rhythm. I don't have my confidence, and it's an inner search. And like hearing him say that and him openly admitting it, it's like, what? Mm-hmm. That's the issue right there. It doesn't matter how talented he is. He doesn't have confidence.
Exactly. Like, it's crazy. And if for next year, I hope Zach Wilson is not the starter. Like, I feel like we shouldn't bring in an old vet. If we do, just don't play him. Just like have him like as a coach, just like Joe Flacco. Like, because I really don't feel like Garoppolo or Derek Carr is the answer for us. Like, I really feel like Matt White is our answer if he can stay healthy. Like he can get it done. Like, I really feel like he can get it done.
And he's likable too. I mean, he's shown a lot.
Exactly. I don't want to take too much of your time. I know you got a few more calls to do.
I appreciate the call, man. As always, hope all is well with you and your family.
Yes, sir.
Have a happy holidays, happy New Year. Be safe, be healthy, and I appreciate, man. I appreciate you. Win or lose, you're always showing up.
You already know, man. Happy holidays. You be safe too. All goes the same to you, Richie.
Thank you,
Keep the
Josh.
show
Appreciate
going.
that.
Jet up, jet strong. Let's go.
Jet up, no matter what, baby. Jet Nation, this isn't something new to us, right? We've been through the misery. This is part of our DNA, unfortunately. Oh, that sucks. So everyone in the chat, thank you for being patient. Next caller, we got V-Man. What up?
Nothing. Sorry, just like venting out my frustration through my music.
Yeah, man, you got to find an outlet. You know, whether it's music, whether it's a movie, whether it's video games, just people just find escapism. That's all I'm going to say. Disconnect from the Jets world at times.
Like, have you had to deal with any of the Wilson truthers?
Of course.
Like, I don't know how you, like, I don't know who's more delusional at this point, Wilson truthers or Putin apologists. Like,
Well,
they're that bad. They're
like,
that bad. Let's be honest.
I mean, the Zach truthers, you know, you just got to think about it this way. They're holding on hope. They're holding on that he can be the guy. And, you know, I'm open-minded to him being the guy, but I cannot speak on him. I can't defend him. I'm not delusional on that. I'm not that delusional.
I'm not. It's like I got rid of my Zach Wilson T-shirts like after that game. I said, nope.
Yeah, and I never got his jersey. And I made the mistake with Sam. I got 2 Sam Darnold jerseys. I got a signed football. I crowned Sam as the franchise quarterback way too prematurely. And I learned from my mistakes. When we got Zach Wilson, I told myself I'm not buying his jersey until he proves to be the guy. I haven't bought his jersey. I won't be buying it.
I'll just, after Sam, same thing. I'll just get a T-shirt because that's going to be cheaper.
Yeah, that's what I did. I got a T-shirt. I can handle a T-shirt investment, $30, but not getting him a jersey, bro.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, V-Man. We've been through a lot together, bro. You've been with the channel since the start.
It's like the talent is here. It's like the offensive line is probably going to need some more retooling in the off season. I mean, you have the defense. You have tight ends. You have running back is injured, but you had tight ends. You have wide receivers. You have backup running backs who aren't quite as good, but still pretty good. I mean, the talent is here to compete, and we see it. It's like, and you know what Albert Einstein said the definition of insanity is?
Doing the same thing over and over again?
Expecting the same result. Expecting different results.
Same result.
Expecting different results. Sorry. Yeah, great.
Yeah.
But, like, that's what it is at this point. It's like with Zach Wilson. I mean, it's insanity that we expecting him, to be any different at this point. We've seen enough to know what he is.
Yeah, and the reality is you can't expect him to come back after a 3-week reset and all of a sudden be like, yep, everything's fixed. Everything's changed. No, that's who he is, and he has his confidence.
No,
It's that simple. Well, V-Man, thank you for the call. Always appreciate seeing your face and giving us the knowledge that you bring. And let's go Jets.
By the way, is my hand still weird? Is this hand weirdly colored than the other?
One's a little brown and one's a little white.
Oh yeah, no. I just prepared a pork shoulder for Christmas, so it's still stamped.
That's what happens when you get your hands dirty in the kitchen. That's gonna happen.
No, my hand smells like garlic, sazon, paprito, and a whole bunch of other seasons. I can't. This is the worst part of Christmas. Trying to get this.
Well, hopefully you get that off you. Just keep washing your hands. I'll see you soon, V-Man. Enjoy Christmas, my man. V-Man, what a Jets fan he is, man. So, guys, we got a lot of people still waiting backstage. Thank you for being patient. We're going to get to all the callers. Don't you guys worry. Each and every one of you guys waiting behind stage, you will be brought in the order that you've came in. So, the next caller will be JJ. What's up, man?
Yo, what's up? Can you hear me good?
Yeah, can hear you fine, man.
Perfect. All right. I don't even know where to begin because there's a lot of frustration. But the reason I'm smiling is because this was expected, right? Like if you take a closer look at our season and you look at the teams we played in the beginning of the season and the wins that we got, you can see there was a level of overratedness with this Jets team, right? We didn't play anybody in the beginning of the year. We got lucky against the Browns. And so the frustrating part comes from you guys keep saying that any other quarterback that's played in our offense has looked so much better and done so much well. But if you go look at Joe Flacco's starts, his stats in the first couple of games of the season, he threw for 59 completion, then 62 completions, then 53 completions percentage. So it wasn't like he was lighting it up. And he threw what, 5 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. So it wasn't like he was doing so much better. So there is a level of accountability that needs to be put on the coaching staff, especially the offensive coordinator, because even if you look at Mike White's numbers, they aren't the greatest, and his completion percentage isn't the greatest as well. So it's kind of weird that we just want to keep shining this negative light on Zach Wilson, but we don't want to start to look at the other things that are terrible with this team. And here's what I'll say. What's going to happen is we're going to get a better quarterback next year, and then all the other little problems that we have are going to start piling up, and then we're going to be just pissed off about that. And it's going to be a lot of Jets fans are going to be like, yo, told you so. Like, we try to tell you, like, the defense isn't as good as we think. Hello, am I still there?
Oh, yeah, you just cut out a little bit.
There? Oh, sorry. Okay, there we go. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of people's like, we try to tell you the offensive coordinator isn't that good. And this is the last point that I want to make. If we have Brian Daboll as our coach, just think about this. If we have Brian Daboll as our coach, what do you think our record is now?
I mean, that's a good question. I have no idea, because that's obviously hypothetical. I think that we'd probably be around the same record, if not, I don't know. What do you think, JJ? You think we're in the playoffs?
I think we're 10. I think we would have a 10. I think we would be 10 wins right now. And the reason I say that is because Brian Daboll is achieving more with less with the New York Giants. I don't think that Daniel Jones is that much better than a Zach Wilson, right? But I think that Brian is using his strengths in a better. The Giants only have one player on offense, Saquon Barkley, but yet they're able to win games and stay competitive. And their defense doesn't have any superstars on it. They have some good players, but no superstars. And then you look at us with all these flashy players that we have, and that's to the team's credit that we were able to get out that. But we're not overachieving. We're not underachieving. We're literally just right here, average.
Yeah, and I completely see where you're coming from, JJ. The coaching staff deserves to be criticized for everything that they've done this season. You know, the offense has not been able to be consistent. The defense started off the ball out against, weaker opponents and backup quarterbacks. They were able to get to Aaron Rodgers. They were able to get to Josh Allen. So it kind of felt good that we actually beat a sustainable opponent. But the coaching staff deserves to be blamed just as much as the quarterbacks. And, Zach Wilson's the easy scapegoat because he's supposed to be the franchise quarterback. At the second overall pick, you got to live up to being, not just a good quarterback, but the franchise guy. And he's not proving that. So, the reality is it's bigger than the quarterback situation. It's more of a coaching decision. It's more, personnel. It's more of just, instilling confidence in this team. And, what do the good teams do, JJ? They get better at this point of the year. They don't get worse.
Yeah.
And that's the reality of it. So if you want to be a playoff team, you want to be a team that goes to the playoffs, this is the time of the year, no matter who your opponent is, you play your best football. And that's the unfortunate reality that's not happening.
And there was just one last thing that I wanted to say about this team. And just in NFL period, it does not take 20 starts to find out if you have your guy. It doesn't take 14 starts to find out if you got your guy. All right. When you look at the eye test, one season, look at a full season, and that tells you everything you need to know about the quarter. He's definitely not the guy, but we knew this. We could have said this after the Denver game. Literally after the Denver game, all right, he's not the guy. Let's start exploring other options. Let's see what we have in Mike White, because the excuses just kept coming. It kept coming. Oh, Denver has the best defense in the league, and every quarterback plays. It wasn't that he played bad. It was how he played, missing the easy layups, right? If he was just playing bad and, he was just, no, he's missing wide open guys behind the line of scrimmage. So I just wanted to end on that. The next quarterback that we have, we don't have to wait 2 full seasons to figure out if he's the guy or not. Yes, we need to have patience, but at the same time, your eyes don't lie to you. And you guys, everybody watching, knew Zach Wilson sucked for a while and just didn't want to admit it because we're Jets fans and we wanted something nice. And we had something nice, Mike White. And we just kind of so that's all I had to say.
Yeah, JJ, you bring up great points. I appreciate the call. And really do appreciate your perspective of this whole thing, because that's the beauty of us as a fan base. Everyone has their own perspectives about this team, and I agree with a lot of your points, man. So have a happy holidays. Thank you for the call, my friend.
You too,
Thank
man.
for the
You
support
too.
on the channel, man. Peace out. Have a good night. Well, that's JJ. He brings up really good points about, the coaching staff deserves the blame. Passing the eye test is another thing. Zach Wilson, in that Denver game looked trash. And why did we win against the Denver Broncos? Do you guys remember? Breece Hall. He literally had a 62-yard touchdown run. That was the only touchdown of the game, I'm pretty sure. And then we were able to get enough field goals and hold the Broncos down with Brett Rypien at the quarterback spot. And we don't really talk about that enough. Breece Hall and AVT going down, big reason why as well. I mean, you can't use that as an excuse, but the reality is this Jets team has been trash since those people have left, and they were the heart and soul of the offense. Unfortunate stuff. So we'll see who the quarterback is next year, right? Got a whole offseason to worry about that. Phenom, what's up, man? Thanks for your wait.
Man, thank you, Richie. Great content, Richie. We had a big time year to a certain extent. We played meaningful games in December.
Oh yeah.
This franchise has given us something to root for. I think our expectations were raised by this franchise.
Absolutely.
It wouldn't hurt so much if we hadn't played so well early. I'm not happy at the final results, but as far as where we started and where we're going, there's some things to hang our hat on. Let me say it like that. Injuries are part of the game. We understand that as well. So as much as I'm disappointed, I'm a Jet fan. I want wins. I want to see the playoffs. I'm sure you did too. But we change a couple of things. Our offensive line gets better. We find a adequate NFL quarterback. We're in the mix. So as much as we're down in the dumps, look where we were this time last year.
Absolutely. The building blocks are there.
Yeah, absolutely. So we just have to stay on course. I believe in Joe Douglas. I believe in Robert Saleh. I believe in the coaching staff. I believe the players have to take accountability for making good plays and bad plays. That's where Zach got into trouble. When that interview nailed it for him. When he said he didn't have anything to do with that loss, never you do that. Never.
He lost the team, man. He did lose the team.
Accountability, right? You have to be accountable on your channel to come out with good content. You do that. So,
I take the blame for the Jets' loss, guys.
No way. Don't even do that. Don't even do that.
It was on me, guys. I got to do a better job.
No, you do a good job, Richie. Don't sell yourself short, man. You do a good job.
I appreciate that.
There's a lot of you're one of my guys. So it was fun meeting you actually in person this year. Great stuff. We saw each other at training camp. We saw each other at games.
Yeah,
that's
I remember that,
man. We're building a good fan base. We have a great fan base, man. Look, we live in hope and we die in despair. Don't die, guys. Just understand that it might take a little bit longer. Breece Hall doesn't go down. We might have, and AVT doesn't go down. Becton doesn't go down. This is a totally different conversation.
I know, because all of a sudden we actually know how to run the ball.
We know how to run the ball.
And you don't want to use injuries as an excuse because it is part of the game. But at the end of the day, those are like literally the reason why we were 5-2 at that moment. It's is the run game with Breece Hall and the ability to take the pressure off the offense and run the clock out and hone on our defense. So unfortunate stuff. And Phenom, I really do appreciate you coming in onto the stream and, giving us some optimistic perspectives, because we are a lot further than where we thought we would be at this point. The building blocks are there. We have a generational rookie class, and unfortunately one of them went down for the year, potentially 2 rookie of the years, got potentially 2 Pro Bowl, all pros, if not, guaranteed 1 with Quinnen Williams. I think Quinnen's going to be an all-pro. We'll see if Sauce gets that all-pro nod, but there's building blocks there, and, there's a lot of things to work on. The season's not over yet, just in terms of we got 2 more games to go through, whether the playoffs are, done or not. The season's not over, and, I'll be here supporting and
keep the faith, people. Keep the faith.
Keep the faith. Phenom, thank you so much. It was great to meet you. And back at the games and training camp, I remember you. And thank you for all the support, man. It means a lot. Have a happy holidays to your family and friends, my man.
To you and your family as well, Richie. Take care.
Right back at you, man.
All right.
Awesome stuff, man. Again, guys, thank you for all the calls. It really means a lot that you guys come on here and talk some Jets. And all I am is a Jets fan, just like you guys. And I love to give you guys a platform enough to speak your truth. So with that being said, let's get into the final 2 callers. We got Barney, who's been waiting patiently behind stage. What's up, Barney?
How you doing? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. Hey, man, I don't know what to say. A lot of the callers have already said stuff. I'll say 2 things. So I turned it off, at halftime, probably like a lot of people did. And then I was looking at Twitter. It's like, what, Streveler is playing? So, of course, I turned it back on. And here's the thing that happened when Streveler came on. Oh, there's a football player, a man playing football. I'm sorry, but compared, and I'm not just talking about the way they look, just the way he carries himself, Obviously, Streveler's not the answer. Mike White's probably not the answer. But I'll say this, though. I want to say this about the season. As you know, I'm a little older than some of your viewers. I remember watching the Super Bowl with my dad. I was 6 years old, long time ago, with Joe Namath. That's why I'm a Jet fan. That's why I'll always be a Jet fan, win or lose. But I really hope that Woody doesn't pull the plug on JD and Salah. I don't know if you saw his presser today, but he kept saying, as long as you're wearing a Jet logo, we're going to try to lift you up. When, that was the way he was dodging all the Zach questions. And that
Salah said that, you saying?
That Salah said, as long as you're wearing a Jet logo, we're going to try and help you. We're not going to give up on you. He kept saying that. And that tells me 2 things. As long as you're wearing a Jet logo. He said that twice. I think that implies that Zach Wilson will not be wearing a Jet logo next year. That's how I read between the lines. And that's probably best for him and best for the team. But like everyone's saying, if Hall doesn't go down, if AVT doesn't go down, if Mike White doesn't go down, if Mike White stayed healthy, we probably would have won the last 2 games. We'd have 9 wins. We'd be at least getting into the playoffs. So just keep the faith, everybody. I really think they're building something special. Haven't seen this team from the sack exchange up to today. Honestly, it's more exciting than Rex because I think Salah is a better football mind than Rex, and he's a better. Nothing against Rex, but he's not full of bluster. He's he's learning to talk to the press better, but I think he's a real person, So I think I agree. He's building something good.
No, I agree, and everything you said makes sense. And I actually haven't got a chance to see Salah's presser because he went live when I started this stream. I've been live for 2 hours, so I'm definitely going to watch that after I finish this. So interesting to stuff here. I watched the whole press conference from him last night after the game, and he's just broken. And the one thing about Salah that I've learned is, he's going to say stuff that might not be true just because he can't say that to the media, and that's a smart thing.
Well, let me say one more thing about Salah. This is something I've noticed about him. Is that he'll never cut you down to the press. And I think he really loves his players. And, some people might even say, who's that guy, Zach Black, the athletic guy had an online thing. And I said, what's Salah like in person? He's like, is he as nice in person? He goes, yeah, he might be too nice. And I think that's a big knock against him, too much of a player's coach. But I'll say this, think about the Mims situation, think about the Elijah situation and the Zach situation. If you're not producing, or you're a distraction, which all 3 of those guys were at different points in the season, then sit down. And
exactly. And going into the season, Barney, you're 100% right. That the one knock on Salah was he's too nice. He's a player's coach. He's not, he's just too nice. And I think the way he handled the Mims situation, remember, Mims was inactive for the first portion of the season. The way the Elijah Moore situation went down, he was inactive for a game, wasn't utilized, and now he's getting involved. Zach Wilson's not playing good football. Well, guess what, Zach? You're inactive for 3 weeks. So that tells you right there that as much as Robert Saleh is a nice human being in the real world, he knows that he has a job to do to put this New York Jets football team in the right situations to win. And I feel like he's handled all 3 of those situations to the best of his abilities. And unfortunately, 100%. We have a losing record right now. But I think Saleh is the guy, and I really, really genuinely believe that he's gonna, be the guy.
Maybe
for the long
he
run.
should have put Streveler in at halftime. That's the one knock. Maybe in game. He has some issues. The clock.
Yeah, he's not perfect by any means. He has a lot of things to fix, no doubt.
Yeah, I was at the Lions game, and everybody in the stands was like, "Time out," and he didn't. So, but what are you gonna do?
That still haunts me. Well,
he's still a new coach, so I think long term he's a good choice. I really hope he stays.
Me too,
and thanks to you and all the Jet community, man. You guys made this year a lot more survivable. You know, break
Well,
his
I
minimum
appreciate that, Barney.
goal.
You make this thing go as well. You and all the subscribers that you allow us as content creators to give you the content. So I appreciate you. Have happy holidays, my man, and
Dude,
enjoy the
Merry
weekend.
Christmas, happy whatever. Have a good
Merry
one, man.
Christmas, my man. Shout out to Barney. Appreciate the call. We've just hit the 2-hour mark. That's crazy. Guys, hit that like button if you're just tuning in, man. We're going to get to the final caller of the show who's been sitting patiently. What's up, Troy?
What's up, Richie? How you doing?
I'm doing okay. How you doing yourself?
Not bad, man. Listen, I watched the Jets game. I was so frustrated last night, man. I left. I stopped watching the game at halftime.
Yeah, just like Barney.
Listen, I've been a Jets fan since '84. The days of Kenny O'Brien. I've been a long-suffering Jets fan, and let me tell you, man. You know, you guys are just feeling the wrath of this generation is just feeling the wrath of watching the Jets. But let me say this, man, and I won't take up much of your time. But I'm wondering if the Jets really did their homework when it came to Zach Wilson. I know we lost out on the guy that we played last night,
Trevor Lawrence.
We lost out on him because we won the last couple of games of the last season before we drafted Zach Wilson. But then remember, Zach Wilson came out of nowhere when the Jets decided they were pretty much they guaranteed that they were going to draft this guy probably the last 2 weeks before the draft. And they went to his pro day, watched him, and then he sailed passes all 50 yards down the field and doing underarm passes like what's his name from the Chiefs. But I don't get it. I know when you're a draft prospect, they look at you from not only your physical attributes of what you can do on the football field, but they also look at your criminal history. They have private investigators, and they go all the way down the line, right back onto the field of what you can do on the field. And I'm wondering if the Jets just bought into what he did on his pro day, because you have to remember, prior to the draft, I know Zach Wilson's name was in the mix, but not until the last 2 weeks or the week before did you really start hearing Zach Wilson's name. Remember, Trevor Lawrence was a proven winner in college. He took over from a proven winner in Deshaun Watson. What about Justin Fields? The guy proved himself before the draft, January 2021, in the championship game. He got blasted in his ribs on one play and stayed in the game and proved that not only can I deliver with my arm, I can deliver with my legs. So I'm wondering if the Jets really did their homework. We lost out on Trevor Lawrence. Okay, because the Jets kept winning the last couple of games. Then you had another chance to get a good quarterback. Now imagine if Justin Fields was on this team with the talent that we have, with the wide receivers that we have, with the offensive line in terms of, the ADT and other guys and stuff like that. Imagine if we had Justin Fields instead. I personally believe the Jets were not fooled. They fooled themselves by picking Zach Wilson. And I remember the night of the draft, they had already made up their minds they were going to take Zach Wilson for the number one fact. Zach Wilson came out in a gray suit and a green tie. So they had already known prior, a week before or 2 weeks prior, they were going to take Zach Wilson. And Zach Wilson, I'm wondering, did they see the intangibles? I know the guy has a rocket of an arm. He can launch the ball. But what about the intangibles of
the football IQ?
Checkdowns and throwing 15 yards to your open running back who's a receiver, or your other receiver who's 20 yards. He doesn't have the intangibles. And number two, and finally, I don't think the guy can handle New York.
Yeah, that's another big thing. He can't.
He doesn't have the capacity to handle New York.
He does not. And I couldn't agree more with you, Troy. I think it's a big organizational failure for their draft pick of Zach Wilson. And I think Joe Douglas has done a phenomenal job around that draft pick in terms of the other assets that he's brought in. But he does deserve to be criticized because you think about the homework and the scouting department and all the investments that goes into the number 2 overall pick. And they decided to draft Zach Wilson. And he's going to be looked at as one of, if not the biggest draft busts in NFL history. That's going to be on Joe Douglas's resume unless he can go out there and fix this team this offseason and get a different quarterback that I prefer to be a veteran because I don't think we are in the right situation to draft a quarterback. Does not really fit the timeline of this Jets team. And you're exactly right, man. Troy, they got to be able to figure this out. And the quarterback situation, they deserve criticism at that number 2 spot because he can't handle the New York media on top of that because it's a different animal here, man. Different animal.
I know he's a young dude and it takes a while to mature in the NFL, but the dudes, I'm looking, you can look at somebody just know when they're not really fully mature, especially on a professional level, football, NFL wise. The dude's really, really young and fresh and green, so, but we got to do a better thing, a better thing of looking at these guys and not just looking at face value of what the guy can do, but looking at what the intangibles are. Can he lead a team? Can he produce a drive with a minute and 40 seconds left in the game to go win the game when we're down by 7 or we're down by 3? They have to do a better job. We messed up with Sam Darnold, but and we're right back to square one when it comes to trying to get a franchise quarterback for the next 10 years to come.
We are right back to square one, Troy. But the one thing I will say about that is this is the first time that, we're back to square one about the quarterback, but we are a lot better around the quarterback than we've ever been. So that gives me optimism that when we do get that quarterback, hopefully we can win. Because you look at the 49ers, for example, which is the team that we're trying to implement here. They drafted Trey Lance right after Zach Wilson. He's done for the year. They had Jimmy G. Jimmy G's doing well. Oh, he's done for the year. Oh, they have an Mr. Irrelevant Brock Purdy out there. The team is so good around Brock Purdy and that 49ers defense and that running game that they got there where they can pretty much win with whoever the quarterback is. So I'm hopeful that the Jets can continue building around the quarterback and they can, of course, get the quarterback answered because that's the most important position in sports. And us as a Jets fan base, you longer than me, obviously, all we've ever looked for is a franchise quarterback, and it's been forever. And I'm hopeful that they can figure it out this offseason, and we got a whole offseason to talk about it. Well, Troy, I appreciate you hopping on the stream and giving your frustration and giving your overall perspective of the whole, mess that is the New York Jets right now with the quarterback situation. I appreciate the call, my friend. Have a happy holidays and be safe and enjoy it with your family and friends.
Likewise to you and yours, Richard. Enjoy your show. Enjoy your content. Always watch. And one more thing, kudos to Mike White. I hope they plop you right in that spot and build around you because I think you're the dude, but a lot of people don't. But I think he's the dude. Just give him a chance and put talent around him. I think he will deliver.
I agree.
But thank you, Richie.
I got you, Troy. Thank you, man. All right, man. That's gonna wrap up the stream, folks. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to another Jets Media Show. That was a lot of fun. It's been 2+ hours for you guys hopping on and giving me a lot of support in the chat with the donations and the like buttons and the subscriptions and the call-ins and all the hate in the chat, all the love in the chat. It's all well warranted. I want to say, guys, thank you for tuning into Jets Media. This is definitely not a good day to be a Jets fan, but I just want to say thank you to everybody because without you guys supporting me, none of this is possible. This is my full-time gig. This is my full-time job. And without you guys, I would not be able to do this as a full-time job. So thank you again for all the support, all the donations. You guys have no idea how much it helps me out as a Jets content creator. It really gives me motivation to keep going and keep growing. And it's unfortunate that this team is not going to be in the playoffs this year. And, there's no sugarcoating that. But I just want to say again, thank you. Let's go Jets. Have a happy holidays this weekend, man. Merry Christmas to everybody who celebrates. And I'll see you guys on Monday. I'll be live to talk more about the current state of this Jets team. I love you guys, and I'll be here no matter what. I mean, I started this freaking channel with Gase, so I can handle anything. Love you guys. Let's go Jets. Peace out.